Welcome everyone to the Don Vic Show. I'm your host Don Vic, and I'm here with my co-host IG. He's in the building. He's about to do something for me right quick. So, people, I just want to let y'all know that we got a special guest coming on the show, director, actor Asif Akbar, and he'll be coming to the show in a little bit. But before we start the show, we're going to show you a quick clip of the movie Commando that's all through platforms and stuff. IG, let's do it.
Right for these people. Yeah, I hear who that is, right?
Okay, all right.
Get out today. Oh, Jesus. So we got some business to do. What is it? Laying on my doors. I'll make sure you die. I had to kill him before. Don't worry, I'm built for this. Not with the head shoot up. You gotta go.
Yeah, people. So that was a quick clip of the movie Commando, all platforms and stuff. So, people, it looks like an interesting movie. But right now, we have our guest coming on the show, and Asif Akbar. This guy has been on through social media, man. This guy is amazing. We're gonna be talking to him. He's been on the JoJo show. He's been on all types of platforms, and this is a new movie he's releasing, Commando. We're gonna talk to him and find out exactly, what's going on with this movie, man, and what made him come up with this movie. So, people, welcome director and actor Asif Akbar to the show. What's up, brother?
Hey guys, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm glad
Thank
to
you
be
for-
on your
thank you for
show
coming.
here.
Thank you for coming on the show. I know you're a busy guy, working with all these type of people.
Yeah, it's I've been blessed to be able to do what I love, and I just finished um, shooting my latest feature film, Mojave Diamonds, that we're in post production of right now, and that's a very exciting one coming up. I'm super pumped about it. It's got a great lineup of UFC stars, like Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He's a old friend of mine. We've been doing several projects together. He's one of the lead stars in it, along with Chael Sonnen, Rampage Jackson, and then Weston Cage. So
Man,
I'm super pumped about it.
you got them all. So, can you tell us a little bit about what the movie's about, or you can't discuss that?
Yeah, no, we finished shooting just about 3-4 weeks ago, and it's been in post, and we're actually in super speed. It's the movie's coming together really nicely in the edit. I'm super happy. It's about um, these three brothers that are estranged, and then they have to come together to go on a rescue mission of their family members that are kidnapped by this crime syndicate, because one of the brothers, owes debt to the crime lords, because their diamonds went missing. It's an interesting story. I don't want to give away too much
Okay, yeah,
because we're in the
okay.
early stages of post, but it's kind of like four brothers meets Gone in 60 Seconds. It's very
Ooh, wow.
high
Wow,
octane
combination.
and all the way through, and you got a great group of guys that can kick a lot of ass in it, so it's gonna be good. I mean, it's a little different from the Commando. We try to focus it a little bit more um, on the whole PTSD aspect of it. It was more of a crime thriller
Right.
with action supporting it. It wasn't like a full-on typical action film that you would see, Michael Jai White do. And a lot of my filmmaking style as a director is I try to keep a realism into the story and sequences and even the style of action, to the point where if you watch it, you can almost like imagine it happening in real life, and I've had experiences, know a lot of people with a lot of real life stories, scenarios where things play out a certain way sometimes where you can't even make that stuff up, you can't write it, but if
Right.
you put it on the screen you can make it up for screen. And some of those stories are worth telling. And right now we have a beautiful opportunity with the way the industry is, with all the streaming platforms that are enabling more independent filmmakers to have the freedom of making some different and new content with unique stories and experimenting to be able to kind of work like how old Hollywood used to work,
Right.
for the last decade or so with all the Marvel movies and stuff, which, they're not bad, but they had kind of monopolized the industry, the studio system of the industry, where all the big budgets were remakes and big franchises and pretty much projects that were more guaranteed and not as risky or experimental. And that's where, I think as a society and industry, we could get in trouble whenever we are limited to our creativity and pushing boundaries, because that's what happened. When sci-fi films and horror films started coming on and becoming more popular in the 60s and 70s, um, and people started experimenting, pushing boundaries, became more innovative. Filmmakers have to be innovators at the same time to be able to keep creating new things, like directors like James Cameron or Spielberg. They're always giving something new in their films
Right.
to not only push their own boundaries, but to also set the bar up higher in the industry for other filmmakers to also have the opportunity to make bigger and better movies with technology or whatnot. And sometimes, when we don't have the budget and technology, you have to get creative and
Right.
be able to have that freedom to be able to, experiment. And sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle. So, I try to give something new, and I did that even on Mojave. There's certain, styles that we had the freedom to try out. Even in the Commando with the story, um, not only did we focus on a flaw of the hero, which is Michael Jai White, his
Right.
character, James Baker, he suffers from PTSD. And that's a very common issue in our society
Right.
worldwide. And it's not just law enforcement and veterans, but it's anybody that's gone through trauma that develops PTSD. It not just only affects them, but it affects their family and friends around them.
That's
And
right.
it lead to suicide or
Hmm.
drug use, or whatever, something bad. So that was something we were trying to you know uh, send as a message to the audience, that no matter how macho you are, be a hero, but that could be a natural flaw,
Right.
that you should not be afraid to address.
That's right.
But at the same time, you can still be a hero, and when the time comes and there's an outside threat, endangering your family, you can turn that switch off if you have control over it, to be able to now control your life and save your family and be that hero at the end of the day. So in order to achieve that, I also wanted to um, focus a little bit of a backstory and development of the characters on the bad guy side. It's not just Mickey Rourke. There's a gang that he's part of. That's a group that's has a motivation to do what they're doing. And
Right.
so we wanted to explore that. And so there are a lot of character developments and build-ups to this whole event that ends up unfolding. And there are definitely like losses that would happen, like in real life.
Right.
It's like more
Yeah.
of an adult version of Home Alone with like an action movie, into it. That's kind of like what we were going for.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Well, Commando looks like an amazing, amazing movie, and I know you just got it out to the Middle East. Tell me how how'd you feel knowing that your film is out in the Middle East?
It's definitely cool to know that it's being watched on major platforms and even theatrical in the Middle East. I found out it had like almost 50 theaters or more in the Middle East and did decent even in the pandemic. But like it's weird because a lot of times we don't even know, like as the filmmaker and the director of the movie, we don't even know the release dates that much ahead of time. Sometimes even the public knows before us, and we find out the same day just from the internet or whatever. And so that was a surprise, but it's like wow. And I had a feeling like we had a good distribution, on it, especially in the States, considering the whole environment and everything. But we were confident, we were going to get some nice plays, but it's so far been above expectations. It's definitely amazing, and still like it feels like a dream come true to be able to say that your film's being watched all over the world, and
Right,
especially theatrical nowadays.
right. And so, how's the feedback on the film?
It's been, I won't lie. You can't please everybody. There are definitely fans out there, I'm sure, that are, huge Michael J. White fans and rightfully so. Myself,
fan.
I love seeing him do his martial arts and the kick ass. And, it's just different. It's not that typical martial arts fighting movie. It's more of a, like I said before, crime thriller that has a more touch with reality and with some action supporting it. Obviously, something that could happen in real life, the way it unfolds. And it's interesting because Michael J. White and I've become good friends, and through this whole process, we have some other projects coming up together. So we talk daily, and we had this talk that we're both pretty proud of the fact that we were able to, um, especially on an 11-day shooting schedule, pull off something that still we do get some feedback from, a lot of feedback actually, from veterans and people that can relate to the movie, and some of the messages we've tried to convey. People are really receiving them well, and they're reaching out, and they're letting us know that that's how it is, and so that feels good. And I've always said, from my movies, I know I can't make everyone happy, but if I could even touch one person with the message that I'm trying to put through, and it makes a difference in their life in some positive way, I feel like I've accomplished my mission. Because at the end of the day, even as a director and filmmaker, I don't look at my projects like I'm making a movie for me. I'm making the movie for the audience.
Right.
And and just like with anything else, you're gonna have people that love it, people that hate it, people that don't even know about it. But at the end of the day, it's the few that it does touch and affect that means the most.
Yeah. Do you think directing a film is the toughest job while making a movie?
I would say it's in part. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure, obviously, from all sides. I would say, being a producer is just as tough, but the director gets all the pressure. I think from all. I would say would be the more, and when you're a producer director, it's double the pressure in ways, because sometimes when you're just directing, there are issues and problems behind closed doors that the producers kind of keep away from you, so you can focus more on the creatives and directing and running the set. But when you're also a producer, you kind of blend into naturally knowing everything and knowing all the pressures and problems, because at the end of the day, we're also problem solvers as filmmakers. And whether you're a director or producer, you're always going to expect to have problems come up, and if you don't have problems, there's a problem. So you have to be ready with solutions, option A, B, and C, to
Right.
be efficient and not waste time and money. And so when when you've done this enough times, and you've um, been familiar with the formula, it gets easier to be able to deal with those problems and just kind of naturally know the solutions. Or if you go ahead knowing what you can, fix the problems with, it makes it easier. And I've been able to develop a team that we work very well in sync to kind of, know how the formula works. So it's all about the team you surround yourself with. I've come to learn that as well over the years. That makes
Right.
a huge difference.
Right. And it's kind of hard too to build a team, or say build a team to work with you, on your level, because you want this to work, you want this to be perfect, and so you got to find the right people to work with,
It
to
really is.
make.
It's all about the people you surround yourself with in this
Right.
industry and in life in general, and you want positive people with positive energy. That's
Always.
number one. And then, people that will have your back. As you guys know, this is a very cutthroat industry. And yeah, Jojo, I see
Yeah.
your comment. Their first few were not easy at all. I mean,
Yeah, no, those
and
are the hardest
Yeah.
ones.
that's the thing. They don't really get easier. And maybe I should rephrase that. It's more like, you become more experienced to be able to, I guess, handle bigger problems, without panicking more. When you're learning and you're, younger, and you go through your trials and errors, you have a lot of times where, it's part of the process of the journey where you're just still trying to figure it all out. But the more you mature into it, the more, again, like I said, going back to that team, the more you can have that team that you can count on and really trust.
Right.
That helps ease some of that pressure, because at the end of the day, it's all about that pressure. And the more people you have that can take on that pressure with you, that's what makes it easier. And
Easier,
so a
right?
lot of times in the beginning, we take on more pressure than we have to, because someone's got to get it done. And we still have that mentality. Like at the end of the day, even me, when I'm a director, if I have to help the PAs out carrying something, I'll do that. Because at the end of the
Right.
day, we have to get it done. We're all working as a team.
As a team,
The
yeah.
time is running. We can't control that. And so if
Right.
if me carrying a sandbag makes them go that much faster and gives me that much more time to shoot what I need, that's what it's all about.
Right. Yeah, it's about teamwork. So what what actually got you into filming, and why a filmmaker? Why not a doctor?
Well,
Oh yeah. I don't know. You
I,
know,
it's a good
how'd you
question. I
choose?
get asked that a lot. Actually, a lot,
Really?
by every single person, every single show. But I love answering it because I've always known that's what I wanted to do ever since I was a young kid. As far back as I can remember, 2, 3 years old. And the thing that fascinated me the most, and that question that you just asked, what made me want to do it back then. When I remember when I was a kid, and most kids, I'm sure every kid gets asked this question: is what you want to do when you grow up, or what you want to be when you grow
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And so that used to always make me think, like, and I used to be curious, like, even at like 3 years old, I used to have family members or people like ask me, like, hey, what do you, and then, they were doing it to inspire me and to get me thinking. And I don't know if they realized it or not, but it used to make me think, like, what do I really want to do? And I used to watch movies like everyone else, and I used to watch these all characters and actors that are playing different characters in different movies. And in one movie, this guy is a doctor, in another movie, he's a cop, another movie, he's a lawyer. And so to me, it was like, wow, maybe making movies, I could do it all, or because there's
Right.
many things I'd like to do. And so with that conception, I started getting more fascinated in wanting to figure out how movies are made.
Ooh, we lost them, guys. Sorry about that. This is very interesting.
Woo.
This is interesting. He'll come right back. Apologize for that.
Oh,
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 sorry
there he
about
goes.
that. Oh, I don't know what's going. Okay, there you go. Sorry,
Okay.
technical glitch. Um,
yeah, technology. Yeah.
So
yeah.
let me ask you this: how is Michael White as a person? Like, how is he? Because I'm a big fan of his. If I'm a real big fan of him and Mikey Rourke,
Right.
Mickey Rourke. How are they as individuals?
Oh, they're both very different, but they were. I mean, pleasure to work with together, even as well. I mean, everyone was kind of nervous as well because they're so different in every way,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they're not that different because uh, they go way back. They have a history, and they're friends, and they worked on another movie right before the Commando. So when we were on set, everyone worked very efficiently in a very short amount of time
Wow.
to be able to get what we got done. And so no, we never had any drama. We just everyone got work done. I mean, obviously, there were frustrations between days. Not I'm not saying between Mickey and Michael, but I mean, of just having the goal of making our days and making sure we have everything we need in 11 days. And you know it was like a fast paced shoot, and
Wow.
both of them gave it their 100%. Mickey was there at all times, never just sat around in his trailer or anything that people may think. He was there to work. Even
Right.
when we were lighting, we would have a stand-in, and I would say, Mickey, go rest in your trailer, you have 10 minutes. He'd be like, no, I'm here to work, let's go. I know we have a lot to do. So that mindset and mentality, that was
That's
that meant
awesome.
a lot, that made the movie happen. And so same with Michael. He gave it his all, and came to rehearsals, gave us time, and he thought a lot about what was being shot and his character, asked a lot of questions that helped us get in conversation more, to figure things out and work as a team to come up with solutions. So and it starts from the top. As a
Right.
producer, director, you have to have that energy, and also give your team that opportunity to collaborate and work together. It's not
Right.
just a one man show. If you
Right.
open the doors to the people you trust that you're hiring and bringing on board to make this movie with you and take this journey, you have to be able to trust them to do their jobs right. They have a skill set, they have a purpose to be there, and not everyone can do it. Every single position, even being a PA, you have to know the lingo, you have to know how set operations work, how it takes years, it takes time. Not anyone can just come up and be a PA. It takes you a couple films, few films, getting to work with teams and building that experience. Because if one person fails on a film doing their job, even
Every.
a PA or a runner, say, even if someone has to just go get the lunch, they fail, they don't bring the lunch on time to a movie set. Now you're going to miss the day because the sun just goes down because you don't have that extra half an hour.
Right. You're
Right.
looking for
It
that
all
certain.
matters. It's a domino effect that a lot of people don't realize. So it's very important to be able to let people do their jobs and pick the people that you can trust to do their jobs.
This is good advice because I'm 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 planning on shooting a film soon. I'm putting a team together, and
Good,
this,
good for
this
you.
is this is
Congrats. That's
good.
awesome.
This is going to be my first film. So all this information is amazing to me, and I'm glad that you came along because you gave me a lot of pointers, and I'm listening. So
Awesome.
you
Thank you.
know,
I'm glad to help. That's why I love doing these things, because I
yes,
like to share, some of my trials and tribulations, and stories of my experience and journey, because that's how I've learned some of the things, what to do, what not to do. And
right,
that's why I end up producing quite a bit too, because I like helping up and coming filmmakers and people I know, has it in them to make it in the business, because I know how tough it is. And
right.
I've been doing this. I'm a young guy, but I've been doing this pushing almost 20 years myself. And I started,
Ooh, what you start? You must have started. What you
I
started
started
like at 12 years old?
12, right?
actually,
You
yeah,
look
12, 13
young.
years
You
old.
don't
Yeah,
look
13,
past 22. So
13 years old. Yeah.
yeah, wow,
So,
that's amazing.
so tell us who are your favorite filmmakers?
Oh, I've watched films from all over the world growing up, but like I said before, I like directors that are also innovators. Like I said, as far back from the beginning of, Charlie Chaplin was someone I looked up to a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
Silent era, the kind of films he made. Um, just Clint Eastwood, his style
Ooh,
made me.
Clint Eastwood.
Uh, I mean, of course, James Cameron, uh,
Mm,
Robert Zemeckis, even Spielberg. I mean, George Clooney.
Spielberg.
All these
Spielberg.
guys are innovators.
Right.
They brought something new into,
Listen.
and they push themselves. That's the thing, is that I
Yeah.
try to always follow that road. Was I may not have the budget as big, or the support, or some of the technology, but I try to at least push the boundaries for what I've done before, or what I know I could or could not do. I try to achieve something new within my realm that I haven't done, and push the boundaries to, find something creatively that I can put in my films. So that just inspires me to know that you can push the boundaries as a filmmaker and not kind of be pigeonholed or in a box, and have the limitations to tell your stories. Of course, there are some projects where you do, for the business of it, and it's like a cookie cutter, and you have to follow a certain formula, and that's it. You just make the movie, deliver it. But then, sometimes you get that freedom to really be able to try some new things, and that's why I'm so proud of Mojave Diamonds that we just did recently. I had some of that freedom to be able to really go out all out with what we wanted, and I wrote that script too, and we were able to pretty much capture everything we wrote on paper on screen, pretty well, and well planned.
When you do your filming, are you specific with the people you bring on board, like for actors? Is there certain thing you look for in an actor to be in your film, or you just
Um, Having a great mindset and attitude definitely helps.
okay?
The personalities. I try to always envision the actors. If I'm writing the script, or if I read a script, I try to envision certain actors that either I've worked with before, or that I know of, or that I can just imagine, or even that look, um, while I'm reading the script, to kind of play out the movie in my head. So
Right,
sometimes, I get lucky to get the actors I envision, and sometimes, I'm very open to always looking at new actors, and even with crew, I'm not like always married to, oh, I have to have this DP, that DP. Sometimes, the job calls for, if I get hired as a director to go direct somewhere, and they're like, no, you can't bring your crew. Okay, fine. I'm always happy to work with new people, and sometimes it works out really well, and that's part of the experience I love.
So who would you like to work? Who else would you like to work with, and why?
Oh man, there's so many people. The list can go on.
Right, I could imagine. That's why it's tough to be like, oh, one or two, but it's like you go for like 4, 5.
Yeah, but one of the actors I think I would say I'd love to work with there recently, just Leonardo DiCaprio. He's the
Ooh,
range. There's so many different movies I can think of with him. Um, but then you got the typical other guys that I grew up watching, like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the action stuff.
Yeah.
They're legendary. I mean, I got Mickey Rourke, that I had a great experience with, and so hopefully, there are some talks of projects that I have some ideas for that may work out. We never know. So hope for the best.
well, it's funny you say that Sylvester Stallone and people like that because I know someone that knows those people.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're great guys too. They're
Yeah,
very approachable.
yeah,
They're also in a point of their life where they do it for the love, and if
right,
they like a certain project, if it's the right project for the right time, because and I mean, they're not gonna spend their time on just doing any movie. They have to be casted for. So it has to be the right fit and the right timing. That's another thing that I've learned that's so important, and to really accept as a filmmaker, is timing is everything. You can have the perfect project, you can have everything lined up, but if the timing is not right for one thing to match up in that puzzle piece, it's just not going to happen. There's always projects. That's why we have multiple projects kind of cooking in the fire, because you never know what might happen. A wrench might get thrown in the road, and all of a sudden, overnight, your one project could just be stopped, no
right,
matter how far along you are, and then the next project could, uh, you know, the doors can open up for that to go. That
Right.
happens all the time, and you just have to accept that, not be, uh, dwelling on just one project and one problem. You have to be able to just move on, treat it like a business, and be able to deliver on time of what you're tasked to do.
right.
Right.
When you, I mean, you wrote some of the script of Commando, but when you write a script, do you go by what the script says, or do you make some arrangements as you go? You say, okay, I wrote this, but you know what? I don't like that. Let's try this.
No, you have to be very open and adaptive. Even like the big budget movies, sometimes they have to, change. I mean, that's why sometimes they end up going on reshoots, and that ends up costing them the more money, but they have that. But for us, you have to be able to be realistic with the resources you have, especially getting closer to the start date. When you're writing, of course, you want to shoot for the stars, give it your all. Just you don't want to have limitations when you're writing. You want to write the best script and the biggest film you can. Um, you have to have the writer's hat on. Then, when that goes into the next phase, if you're part of the film as a producer and director, you have to be able to nowadays, especially in indie films, be able to wear those multiple hats to think like a producer and think, okay, what's realistic? What do I really have? Maybe I don't have that location, but I have this location. I don't have that car, but I have this car. I don't have that actor. This. So you have to be very flexible in adapting and rewriting your script in the process as you get closer through pre-production to shooting, and then even being on set. Sometimes you go there, you're thinking you're going to have 2 hours to shoot something, you have 45 minutes, so now you have to redo your shot list or whatnot. And a lot of times, I do shot lists as a general guideline sometimes for crew if they need it, if it's a complex scene or whatnot. But most times, I've learned the shot list usually goes out the window. As long as you shoot to edit and you understand the structure of the scene you need, you have to be just free-minded to be able to go work with the location, to be able to go work with the time you have, to be able to do your setups. And if you're too married to the script and the shot list, then you kind of lose yourself, like, oh man, no, I got to get that shot though. If I don't have that, you just have to know how it's going to all play out in the edit. That's my style, at least, of being able to shoot to edit. Sometimes, we have the luxury of having the time to really shoot it, in every way, and sometimes get too much footage. But when you're limited on time, you have to know, okay, am I going to cut to the close up or the wide? Just shoot it that way instead of repeating every setup and take from the top of the scene. Because then if you have a 4-minute long scene with multiple actors and you're doing it from the top every time on every setup, on every close up, every wide shot, every mask, then you're of course going to spend unnecessary time. If you know you're not going to use every take, you have to be able to edit in your head right then and there and get the shots, move on, get your safety of neutral shots, insert shots, and just move on, make the scene, as long as you know you have the scene played out.
Right. So, what advice would you give me? Right. What advice would you give me as directing my first film? Directing my first film. What advice would you give me?
I would say, definitely have fun with it and make your film as your first mark, because if you go out without having regrets on it, you're gonna learn, and just whether it fails or succeeds. I hope it succeeds very well, and it can. But even if things don't go your way, just don't dwell on it. Just make sure you get the movie done, even if it's not the movie you thought you were gonna make, or you're not happy with it. The most important thing people are gonna look at as your first film, especially if people know you're making your first film as a director, that did he finish it or not? Did he deliver or not? Even if it's not good, at the end of the day, you can say, you know what? Under circumstances, I had to finish the film and deliver, and it got out. Even if one person likes it, it's out. It gets a life.
Right.
Then you learn from it. You take those lessons and you grow. That's the thing. You're never going to make the perfect film on your first film. It's
Right.
a process. It's a journey. It's a school of life. You learn till the day you die in the line of work. You have
Right.
to have that open mind. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and mess up and not, and maybe you will, get lightning in a bottle, and it'll be like the next Blair Witch. But don't think, oh, if I can't win an Oscar in this, it's no good. No, it can be seen by two people, but at least as long as you get it done, you can move on from it with clean mind, clean slate, take the lessons, and go make the next bigger, better one.
Right. So, because I'm because it's my first film, I have people that directed movies before.
Right.
Jennifer Dawn is a great friend of mine. She's been directing a lot of movies. She's actually gonna help direct the movie with me and guide me
Oh, good. No, that's
through it.
great actually, and I've done
And
some things like that where
right,
I, co-direct and help people, but and sometimes it's that's a good way to also learn because you can learn others' styles and mistakes and work off of each other. As long as you don't have egos and can work as a team, that can.
right,
And nowadays, that's another trend. People are
right,
co-directing all the time. Uh, Look, at the end of the day, as long as you can work as a team and get the job done and deliver what you're supposed to,
right,
move on. You can't just be married to one particular project. It's just the movie. At the
right.
end,
It is.
you know
But
what job you've done. You know what, as long as you've done your part and, make it happen, everyone's happy, then, you should be happy and just move on to making the next big movie.
right. But there's so much stuff with making a film. I thought a film was, you write the script, you got your writer, you got your actors, you learn the script, and you shoot. No, there's a whole lot of stuff you have to do
All these
before
other,
you
yeah, and
before you even
things
start
they
to
don't
shoot.
teach you in film school, unfortunately. And I've gone through. I have a 4-year bachelor's degree in film and TV, and like they say, it's very true. You learn from the practical world more. The film school is a good foundation. Don't get me wrong, but um, what you learn from one feature film, you don't learn in 2 years of film school. And that's just the honest to God truth.
Right,
I've started careers, friends that, I said, all right, work on 2 movies. And they work on 2 movies, then they go off and they're working on big feature films and even with more experience than people that are coming out of film school sometimes. Because a lot of times people go into even film schools and in this business thinking it's all the glitz and glamour and money and fame, but then it's a lot of hard work to
it
get there
is.
and have that patience and know that you have to work hard. And sometimes people get turned off when they see it's real work. So
Yeah,
a lot of people that back when I went to film school, they told us there was a 35% chance of graduating for people. I mean, the graduation rate was so low. It was
Wow.
I mean, worse than med schools, law schools, they told us, because so many film students went in thinking they're going to be the next Spielberg from right out of film school or right, from their first film.
right,
You can't just think like it. You just got to go give it your all. And at the end of the day, as long as you give it your all and learn from it and take the pieces and move on, you can still, grow. But
right.
the moment you think you know it all in this business, you're in
Forget
trouble.
about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Forget
that's
about it. And
a
and the reason why I'm building my team before I even get into it, right?
Mhm.
That's the reason why, because I want to make sure that what I do, the steps I take are the correct steps, and I got the right team that can direct me and show me uh, exactly how to be a good director. And the young lady that's going to help me, she's done films, hundreds of films, and she said, you know what, I'm going to help you make this film, I'm going to help you direct, you can be the co-director, I just guide you through it, because I'm also going to be acting in this
Oh yeah,
film.
and then you definitely should. I can tell you, I've done that myself before, and it's just not the right thing to do. Yeah, sure, you can do it,
Yeah.
but when you're a sole director, it's a lot. Again, going back to the pressure, you already have it.
Right. I'm ready. Hey, I ain't even started. I'm already like, it's
Hey,
too
I
much
forgot,
for me.
like, yeah, the directors have a pressure, but the actors also have another, level of pressure that none of us can imagine sometimes because of even the physical pressure that they go through. Sometimes, we go more through the mental pressure. They can go through the mental and physical. Getting beat down or being, half naked in freezing cold rain outside in the middle of the night, like all kind. I mean, there's just physical hardships that come with being an actor. So I give props to the actors, and the way I work with actors, I like to give them also the freedom of being artists themselves and not robots. And when I mean by
Right.
robot, like some directors, they'll be like, no, you have to say it this way, you have to say
Right.
it word for word, you have to move like this, move like. You can't do that. You got to
Yeah.
give them the opportunity to do what they do best, because that's
Right.
what their passion is. If they're robots, they're not going to love it, and then they have to go through all that crap. It's like, who would do that? So it takes a village to make a movie.
So so would you think that as far as like he's doing directing and making being at first movie and acting would be a lot of pressure? You think that's something?
It will, but it
I'm
seems like
asking is just as a I don't know if he did it the first time around.
I'm already got pressure.
Oh, he's got pressure.
Akbar, I already got pressure. I ain't even start yet. I got to read the script. I got to memorize the script.
But hey, sometimes under pressure you make the best work, and
That's-
it seems like you have a good support system around you, so you should be fine, man.
Yeah. I just don't want him to come here, and tell me quiet on the set. To me.
Quiet on the set.
Well, that's
Quiet on the
AD's
set.
job. He shouldn't even be telling you that. Have the AD tell you that.
Yeah, it's only us. So the AD is not around. Nobody here.
And the fact that Akbar, I have so many great people that have been on my show, great actors that getting these for me to get actors to be in this film will be so easy for me, because I have access of so many actors that have been on my
That's
show.
what it comes down to. You got to have the right actors,
Right.
even when you make bigger films. It's the actors who make the value of the movie.
Right. So right now, to be honest with you, even though I have a lead role in this film that I'm doing, I might not even do it. I might just want to do the directing part of it, and give somebody that opportunity to take that lead role. Because
that could be a smart choice. That could
yes,
be. You want to always put the film first, and if you find someone that you feel like, this guy will do a better job than me, then ego aside, hey, you focus on making that guy look even better, because that's your job as a director.
that's right.
Your film look the best you can, and if you can't make yourself look 100%, but you can mold someone else to look exactly what you want, then that's better for the film. That's better for you. He's going to make you look good.
That's right.
If you have that opportunity and choice, then by all means explore that.
Right. And I do. So that's something. When we come to the table, the script's already written. I wrote half. I read half of it. I still got to read the rest of the script, and then you know how that is. Step by step, we got to go
process, step by step. You got it.
You got to find location and
you're gonna make the
sit down. Right. So, do you watch your own movies after they're done? Do you go and sit there quietly and you don't say, "I'm Akbar, I'm the director of this movie"? I'm sitting here watching.
What I do, I like. It's hard, because I'm never going to be able to just turn off the other side and be able to just enjoy like the audience. But I try. Like even when I read the scripts, first I try to read it 3 different ways. I read it. I try to go into it reading it like a regular audience member, but it never happens because my director side, filmmaker side turns on. So you have to read it like a director, obviously, and envision it as you're reading how it's going to play out. Right. Then you have to think of it as a producer and filmmaker in general of how it's all going to be put together realistically, and have those options played out. Okay, if I can't do this, what can I do? And is it achievable? Then you also read it as an audience member, like, okay, is this movie entertaining? Does it work? Are the characters interesting? Am I interested? Am I invested into it? Is it something that I would watch?
Exactly.
And then you start to play the trailer in your head, like, okay, would this be a cool trailer and interest me? So with all those factors in mind, I love that process of, even when I'm editing, I watch, I'll edit a scene and then I'll give it a day and I'll sleep on it, come back the next day fresh. I just replay the scenes that I've cut from the previous day just to watch it with a fresh mind as much as possible, close to the audience, like how they would watch it for the first time. And then I make changes there, even in order of the story or the edit or whatnot. So it's an ongoing process. As you're making it, you watch it like an audience. And then obviously when it's done, I love to watch it like even on the Commando. I went in a regular showing in the theater to just watch and experience how the audience could experience it with the sound, the picture, and even amongst the audience to get their reactions. And then even at home, I bought it on Apple TV just to see what that experience is like, to buy one of my movies on Apple TV, how people are going through step by step to purchase it and then play it and what it looks like on that platform and then on Amazon. So yeah, I like to, experience that process.
And so, how many times do you go over a film before you say, "This is it. We're gonna release it. This, I got it." How many times do you go? Do you?
You can always go over it countless times, but it does come down to the timing. And over the last few years, most of my films we've had deadlines with delivery, so we have a certain deadline timeline to deliver the film, and just say it's okay. That's locked. That's picture locked. I think, last time I was able to just keep doing cuts and cuts was like 2017, 18. And then ever since then, I've always done films that have a timeline. Just, okay, no matter what, 10 weeks, 12 weeks in post, then you got to move on. So that kind of limits you a bit. But then again, you have to have that mindset of being able to let go and not spend too much time on it, know the process, understand it, and just kind of work every day, to even day and night. Sometimes I work day and night to make sure we hit that deadline. And that's another important part of it. If you can't deliver on time, it doesn't matter how good or bad the movie is, you just lost your slot with the distributor. And now you're not going to get your next film.
Okay, so a distributor might give you, say, "I'll give you 11 days to shoot this film." Is that something? Is that how it
Well,
works?
that would be like more of like, they don't really dictate as much of the days, but
Mhm.
more of like, okay, this is what you have, but this is the time you have, to deliver it in. You figure it out now.
Okay.
It's not like they tell you, they just tell you, okay, if we want this film, we need in 6 months. Now you got to figure out what budget you have, how you can make it work in that budget per days. If you can make it work in the same budget for 18 days, sure. But if you don't have it and you can only shoot it in 11, 12 days, then you got to make it work and still deliver.
So you would say it's best to make sure I have everything before I go see
It's
these
smarter.
films.
Yeah, it is smarter to know ahead of time, because
Okay.
that way you know what you're working towards, and what you have to deliver to.
Cool, cool. That's awesome. What other film are you working on right now?
I'm in pre-production with a couple other films. I'm involved in producing a couple more. So there's gonna be some announcements coming up soon, so that'll be.
I love it. I
But I
love
got
it.
a lot of things cooking in 2022 that I'm excited for. And I've been producing a lot, and I'm directing quite a few coming up more. So it's gonna be a busy year.
Wow. You like producing uh horror movie more, action, drama?
Genres, I've been able to blessed to be able to do all genres, and I like watching all genres, and I like being part of horror. I've done, I've directed, I've produced, but to me, directing horror is a little, right now it's the timing of my life. Like I don't like to carry all that darkness energy and darkness visions,
Right.
just for my own mind's sake. I'm enjoying doing action films more. Kids movie. I had a great time doing Ace
I
and
love it.
Christmas Miracle, which was a kids movie. It just
Right.
released this past Christmas, November 16th, through Lionsgate, and that was a fun one. It was a nice change and peaceful, and working with horses and kids, and just Christmas themed, all positive, happy. And the action films, they're like playing like kids. We're blowing things up, shooting, fighting, and just having a blast, literally. And so they're all different experiences, different emotional rides, and learning experiences. So the subject matters that we make the movies on, we end up researching and learning and prepping to, you know,
Right.
uh, learn something every day. That's part of that, whole journey.
Yeah. If you was to choose between director, producer, and actor, which one would you think you'd be able to just do one out of the three?
One of the, I think naturally, because I'm just able to naturally handle and be able to run sets, creatively, just naturally. I think is what I think enjoy, and I'm better at. I like producing. I like bringing people and organizing and bringing resources together to make things happen. But at the same time, being a director, I get to wear that hat too, and naturally, I'm able to just solve those problems and at least capture the images and movie on the screen. At the end of the day, that's what I know I can do. No matter what time I have, resources I have, if I know I got to complete a scene, I can naturally, on the spot, I can do it. So I would say, yeah, I would favor directing.
How about Happy Hump Day, Blue Skies?
I'm sorry, what?
Happy Hump Day, Blue Skies. Is that a film as well?
Happy Hump Day Blue Skies. No, I don't believe that's the film
Skies? No.
associated with. No.
Okay. Um. So Commando is released. When was that movie released?
January 7th in the US. And then I believe on the 10th it was done in the UK. And then just in February 3rd, it was in the Middle East. And I'm sure there's been other territories releasing and coming up soon. But I just, again, like I said before, I don't know all the dates ahead of time. So I find out whenever they get published.
Right.
Okay, that's awesome. That's great. And so, where can people find your films? And if people would like to reach out to you,
Social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Also, my IMDb has a list of the movies I'm involved with or have out already. And nowadays, you can Google some of my films that you find on IMDb that are out. You can Google and say like where to watch The Commando or where to watch Ace and the Christmas Miracle, and usually they pop up a list
okay,
of where it's available. And then sometimes like even me, like if I want to find someone's, I'll go on Amazon or Netflix. Any one of these streamers, you can in their search put in the filmmaker's name, and it'll give you like the choices that they have. And so it's pretty accessible all over. If you try to find it, it's not going to be too hard.
and how many films would you say you've directed or completed?
Film between films, shows, TV movies. I would say I think I'm around 20, 22, 23, somewhere around there, over 20 films. Um, and, some of them were in the past, they got smaller distributions. Now I'm in, getting more of the studio distributions. So they're getting, put out there more widely. But producing wise, I produced quite a bit. Like, lost count by now is over 45, 50 films that I've been involved in as a producer. And a lot of times, I enjoy producing sometimes more than directing because, again, directing is another whole level of pressure. And I really have to be passionate for it and see the vision. That's the thing. And even when I produce, I'm passionate for the films, but it's a different type of passion. I don't have to be responsible for the entire vision. I can, rely on the director, and I'm my passion to help that director tell their story and just make a good film and proudly be a part of a good film that we can all work on together and make together. So for me, I think all of the movies are like my kids, and then now
Right.
like if you ask me, oh, what was your favorite movie, I couldn't really tell you that I've worked on, or even in general. But I've lost kind of. But it's always good to go back and see movies from years ago, and it reminds you of how far you come, and
Right.
that motivates you more to keep going. And then
Right.
you start wondering, okay, what will happen in another 10 years, another 10 years. So it's
Right. Or going back might give you other ideas.
yeah, it gets like a time machine. You go by and you start remembering those moments of how you shot it, what happened, and what you had to work with, and then you see the growth. And like you said, you get to really learn from your past,
Right.
really see it. It's great. I mean, the other day I was looking at something like that I did like over 10 years ago, and I'm like, wow, if I would have just known what I know now. But it's like it was good because for that time, because I can remember back to what I did know then And I'm like, man, for then, what I knew then, it's not bad. And I'm glad I went through it. It made me better.
Right, right. Do you think it's harder for you to get stuff on prime time or theater?
Well, nowadays the industry is changing so much. You know, you have a bigger audience on the internet or streaming, and you know, theatricals more for, you know, certain territories where the market's bigger, and you know, sometimes they release movies in theaters without even really expecting to make money from the theaters, but to get it out there more, to market it and give it more value so that more people can see, you know, all the marketing from the theatrical marketing and find the movie, you know, more in their home through VOD or digital, and rent, and just, you know, have access to it that way. That's why you see a lot of films that are being released in theaters same time being released on VOD, because not everyone, especially with the pandemic, they're not going to go out to the theater, so at least they have that option, but they're
Right,
paying more you know, to rent it on VOD because it's also on theaters. So there's a
right,
balance there. But you definitely, I think nowadays, the bigger audience is on the streamers and like Netflix subscription based, you know,
right,
platforms, Amazon. So yeah, if I got a movie on Netflix, Amazon, I know it's being watched by more people.
right. Have you done any series, or are you planning on
Yeah,
doing a
I've done
series?
series in the past. I do have other plans, you know, of some big
Okay.
series. I just can't discuss it all right
Yeah,
now.
that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, more announcements coming soon. So you get.
Coming soon.
Well, you know, you can come on my show and give me the exclusives because I love exclusives.
Oh yeah, I know. And it's been fun chatting with you guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
you know, most
yeah,
likely be back if you guys.
yeah. Listen. I thank you so much for giving me your time to come on the show with me
Yes,
and
sir.
IG.
Thank you. We thank you.
I want to thank JoJo for making the connection. She's amazing woman. She also, you know, she's gonna host a show with me tomorrow. I got a fight with celebrity boxers that are coming on my
Oh, nice.
show.
That's fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's fun. We got the trash talking going, and we instigating.
Hey.
You
Awesome. I'll
know,
have fun with
I'm the
that.
biggest instigator there is, Akbar. I'll make you know. So I can't wait for that. But I want to thank you for coming on the show. We're definitely going to bring you back on the show in a couple months, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Give you time to work on some more projects and come back on the show and talk about your projects. Anytime you want something, you know, you have a project that you want to promote or something, man, you're welcome to reach out to me or my co-host or JoJo, and you know, we'll definitely help promote it for you out here. That's just what we do.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, I'd love to. So thank you guys again for having me. Have a wonderful evening.
Likewise.
Yeah, we'll chat soon. And thank you again for promoting the movie.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate
So,
your time.
yep. So, thank you for coming on the show, everyone. This is Asif Akbar, producer, actor, director. You call it. That's he's it all.
Thank you guys.
All right, ciao. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, people. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing guy. This is what I'm talking about, people. You know what I mean?
I gotta watch that. I gotta go home and watch the Commando one.
Yes, Commando. We just put a clip of the trailer of Commando up at the beginning of the show. So if you missed the show in the beginning, you can go back and you can watch the trailer we posted up on here on our show, and you can check it out. It looks like a phenomenal movie. I can't wait to watch it. You know what I mean? And maybe I get some popcorn or something.
Some popcorn. Oh shit.
Maybe some popcorn and a little bit of greeny deenie.
Greeny
Greeny deenie. Yeah. So people, you know, you can go online, check out the movie on all platforms, the Commando, along with other movies. You can click on it, and I'm pretty sure all his movies that come out, you can watch them, enjoy them, and share them, you know, because
Share,
because sharing is caring.
Yes,
Word
sir.
up.
But I'm gonna hold on. I'm real quick. I'm gonna put JoJo put up the website.
Oh, yeah, she did. I believe she did put up the website.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Check out Nash. Oh look. Oh, also check out Kevin Nash in the new movie. What? Kevin Nash?
Dog.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, right here, click on that. It'll take you right to the information to go buy or rent the movie Commando. Show your love, show your support. You know what I'm saying? We got to do this together.
That's right. We're a team. We're a team. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that we get directors like Mr. Asif Akbar coming on the show. I know so many directors. We got Brent Gaskin that just popped
Yes,
up.
sir, Mr. Brent Gaskin.
You know, big shout out to Brent Gaskin. You know, he got a lot of things going on. Just big shout out to Michael J. White and Mickey Rourke as well. Big shout out to them. I'm a big fan of Michael White and Mickey Rourke, man, and that'll be amazing to get them on the show.
Right.
You feel me? And that's gonna come. That's gonna come real soon. You know. So people stay tuned. You never know who I might have on the show. I have plenty of people. I know plenty of people that know people that know people that know people. And anyway, now that I say that, we have Jeffrey East coming to the show. Jeffrey East played Clark Kent in Superman. He played Superman in 1978. He'll be on the show. Is it tomorrow?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. He'll be on tomorrow. And we have actor Eric Mononsky coming on tomorrow. Can't pronounce his last name. But he'll be on the show tomorrow. So I can't wait to talk to Jerry East, man, because I've been a fan of Superman all my life, still a fan of Superman. And he'll be coming on the show, talking people. And this is what I'm talking about. This is how this show has progressed. And because we've been putting in a lot of hard work, I've been doing this for 3 years. And this is how, how big my show has grown. Having these amazing people coming on my show. We just had Donna Lee Hastings on the show. She's done over 100 movies.
Shout outs to Donna Lee Hastings.
You know, she was on the show. She's another amazing woman. Sandy Johnson was on the show.
Man, we going back Halloween again to 1978 with Sandy Johnson.
From Halloween, she was on the show. She's a phenomenal woman. You know, we had I believe we had Karen Colbert Pacino, the stepmom of Al Pacino was on the show, and I'm gonna bring her back too because she's an amazing woman. You know, so we had a lot of great people on our show.
Right, Mr. Derek Webb.
Hollywood Derek Webb been here like twice. We're gonna bring him back on the show. Brent Gaskin been on the show.
Yes, sir.
You know, so people, the show is progressing. A lot of great people, man. We're gonna be bringing you great guests to the show. I got some amazing singers too coming on the show. I'm just setting up the date and celebrity boxers. You can't forget about the celebrity. Hey. Yo, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on this weekend. We got Hazel Roach on Sunday at 7 p.m. and he's gonna be fighting. Guess who's gonna be fighting? L.B. Shore,
those of y'all
recording artist.
Don't know L.B. Shore. Back in the 90s, legendary R&B artist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Look him up, L.B. Shore. I'm
That's
pretty sure you know the song. And he'll be fighting him March 26th. We'll be in the building for the fight with JoJo from the JoJo Show. We're bringing it down from Arkansas to come out with us and see the fight.
Yeah, but it's gonna be more. It's amazing because even though we have to put in whatever the other people that are gonna be there. Because we have a special ring announcer. You know.
Oh yeah.
Flavor
will be announcing. We have Tretch from Naughty by Nature in the building.
Special guest referee.
Yup. Big shout out to Tretch. Big shout out to Flavor. Big shout out to every LB Shore. Everybody that's coming out for that fight.
Shout outs to Damian Feldman. You know, he put this together.
Yes, Damian Feldman. Big shout out to Damian Feldman.
I'm watching his lives. He's over there getting everybody together.
Yes.
Conversations, man. I saw Hazel with Albie Shore. They were having a
conversation. Oh, yeah. That's on my page. You know.
Yeah, Albie Shore was like this. Albie Shore, he was just showing. He goes, look at my hands. he had like a couple of scratches.
Yeah.
I've been hitting the bags, man. Look at my hands. But his hat, you couldn't see his face. He had it, so he's just like, yeah, I'm coming to get you, bro. Like that. I'm just like, oh man, he's 54. He's 54 years old. He's like 7 feet something tall, right?
Yeah, he's tall.
Man,
he's tall. But see, people, this is what I'm talking. Oh, and also we have Cody Travis fighting Ryan Delton.
Oh yes,
We got that fight going. We have Young CEO fighting Mike Massa. They'll be on the show on Tuesday, so check out Tuesday because they're going at it. They're going at it. And we have who else is fighting that night? We got a couple people fighting that night. Big shout out to Zachary Johnson. He'll be in the building as well. He won't be fighting, but he'll be there watching the fight because he got some opponents that he's going to be fighting. So he's going to be watching the fight. We're going to make sure we link up with him at the fight. We also we working on Mr. David Morgan and what's the other one? David Diaz.
Both David Morgan, David Diaz.
I think what are they? MMA fighters or knuckle fighters?
Bare knuckle fighters.
I think they're bare knuckle fighters.
It's a whole process of it. Just no rush. It's just trying to get them.
Yeah. Going. So right now we're talking. You know, we're talking because we're trying to get Mr. Morgan out of his suspension that he got, and so we're working on that fight. You know, we're waiting on Mr. David Diaz to reply to my message, which he did. He replied. And so I'm just waiting for him to give me a date on when he's available so we can have this interview. But that's going to be an interview. That's going to be a special interview. And we're going to see if we get that fight going on with Mr. David Morgan and David Diaz. So, you know,
which is the better David.
That's right. So if you guys love boxing, man, tune in on the Don Big Show. You get more information tomorrow. We got one Sunday and Tuesday. Sunday, 7 p.m. with Hazel Roche. He'll be talking about the fight with LB Shore. And then Tuesday we have Young CEO and Mike Massa on the show at the same time. We don't know what's going to happen there, but the heat is on. You heard? And yeah, people, man, we got a great show, man. Great shows. Tune in. Right, There's going to be a lot of traveling going on this year. You know, I'm trying to stack this paper so I can Atlantic City, Las Vegas, LA. I'm gonna be everywhere. Well, we're gonna try to be everywhere because he don't like to fly. So, you know, he'd be like, just get there and let me know.
Get there, I'll be there. He get there in 6 hours. If you want me to get there, I'll get there in like a whole day.
Yeah. But he'll definitely be with me for the fight in
Showboat Hotel.
The Showboat Hotel, y'all. You heard that fight with LB Shore and my brother Hazel Roche is gonna be crazy. We're gonna be there. We're gonna interview these guys as well at the fight. So we will be going live because, you know, everything we do live. You know, we don't pre-product anything. We don't cut nothing down. We don't edit anything. What you see is what you get on the Don Big Show and Co-host IG. We do everything live. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not busy on the 26th, which is a Saturday, I believe it starts at 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in on the Don Big Show with co-host IG and guest JoJo from the JoJo Show will be in the building on the Don Big Show as well, and we'll be live interviewing some of these boxers after the fight. So, you know, we're gonna be
going in circles.
We're gonna be hyping stuff up. Okay. So what's up, y'all? So I just want to thank everybody for the support, for the love you guys give the Don Big Show with co-host IG. We really appreciate you guys, man, because without you guys, there won't be no show. You know, and big shout out to everybody here because I see some people here doing big things. And you know, just check out my brothers, man. Brand Gaskin in the building, you know.
Yes, sir. Shout out,
Lawrence Monroe. Big shout out to my man Lawrence Monroe. My man L Boogie. New York in the building, you heard? L Boogie in the building.
He's the best actor there is, right? He's a good actor
too,
right?
He's
Yo,
an actor.
for real, I heard about him.
You heard?
Yeah, what was that about? You told me something about it, but
that's all, folks. That's all, folks. You heard?
He's gonna probably put that on there. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. But
shout outs to Sammy.
Yes, big shout out to Sammy. Sammy, I love you, girl. I ain't seen you in a minute.
I know.
You know,
where you been at? Where you been at,
girl? That girl been busy, man. But
it wasn't since that time. I thought she was one of my boys, right?
Yeah.
After that,
she said Sammy. He thought Sammy was a dude and it was a girl.
Yeah.
But we fixed that.
Yeah. I remember that because the way I was just like, shoot. Then I'm thinking about it. Wait. Oh no, that's my boy on my page.
Yeah, and big also shout out to JoJo from the JoJo Show from logging in. My boy Ronnie showing me love. Big shout out to Ronnie. Who else is up here?
Matt.
Who is here? Matt's in here. Matt, my boy Matt.
Shout out,
Matt. Paranormal consultant in the building. You already know I'll be on his show in March. Make sure you tune in. And he also, Mr. Matt also told me that he would love for me to be on his episode on his paranormal team for episode. So we're going to try to make that happen in September, which is my birthday. It's on the 26th and 27th. My birthday's on the 23rd. I'll be 62. No, 82.
Yeah, keep it up, buddy.
I'm only kidding. But I definitely want to come out and get in one of his episodes. That will be an honor to do that. Also with Mr. Marcus Wales as well, another great friend of mine from Minnesota Spirit Paranormal. Gonna go hang out with him. I think JoJo's gonna come out too. That would be dope. Have JoJo and us on the same episode. Because I want to see her run. I want to see. I want to be there when she. I know she ain't gonna be giving me that laugh, but I want to be there to experience that live. So hopefully you guys can get JoJo and us on the same show, and we can have fun at the same time. And also another guy, friend of mine, Brandon Criotti from Ghost Paranormal. Fun House, big shout out to the Fun House. Also Enlightened Spirit Paranormal with Matt. Also from the UK with Candy, Candice, Nick, and her mom. They have a paranormal investigating team out there in the UK.
A lot of paranormal going on over here.
Yes, it's too many. Big shout out to all the paranormal investigators worldwide. You heard? You want to come on the Don Big Show with the IG? Holla at us. We'll bring you on the show because it's all about love here. You heard? But definitely, people, tune in tomorrow. I got two great guests. I got Clark Kent coming on tomorrow, Mr. Jeffrey, East.
3 o'clock, right?
Yep. And then I have Eric
Mikulski.
Also, he's an actor. And then third Sunday, I have Danny Zano coming on the show. And then who's coming on at 7 after that? You remember? For Sunday.
The reigning
celebrity, two-time
champion Hazel Roche, the Latin lover.
Ask your mother.
Hey, listen, you have to listen to that track that he has for his intro.
Yes.
He represents the Boricuas 100% when he walks in there. The flag, the music, and listen, that's all the motivation I need. When I'm there, I'll be like, man, that's all I want to hear.
Yeah, and I want to say to PR, Puerto Rico, ya tú sabes que Hazel Roche está haciendo esto para nosotros. Apóyenlo, tú sabes, show him love y vamos por encima. Es uno de los de nosotros. So, vamos a apoyarlo, tú sabes, para esta pelea. And let's show him some love. All right, so big shout out to PR Puerto Rico, ya tú sabes, para encima. Ya tú sabes, and everybody else. So tune in, guys. Tune in, and thank you so much for watching the show.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Same day. I mean, different day. Same time.
That's all, folks.
And that's all, folks.
Hey, yo, man. Listen, Lawrence. Be safe, bro. Good seeing you. I'll see you around because you know a lot of people. So we're gonna be seeing you. He might be in Atlantic City too.
Yeah, he might.
All right.
Peace, y'all. Peace, love, respect. We'll see you soon. Thank you for the show.
Yes, sir.
We out of here.